All right, 4-3, day 2. Does everybody agree that function tables, function rules?
Yep.
Function notation is, who remembers how I yesterday?
F of X.
Everybody say it. What's the same as f of x?
Y.
I keep forgetting you, Misty.
Yeah.
F of x is the same thing as y, people. They are interchangeable. Whenever you see y, f of x, and whenever you see f of x, you can replace it with y. They're interchangeable. F of x equals negative 4x plus 5. First, find f of 3, and then find f. Talk while you do it, please.
F of 3 equals 4x negative 4 times 3. We take this 3 and we put that 3 there plus 5. And then we write this again.
It's not graded for handwriting.
Yeah.
Because I'm writing like this.
Just write it in show us.
Equals.
Up a little bit if it's easier if we roll a little bit higher. There you go.
What if the scroll
You're doing great.
Negative 12, 5,
Do it as order of operations. Very good.
3 equals.
-7.
Really? I knew that.
Chill. You're still a slugger.
How many people got -7 for the first one?
I did.
Paul is going to explain us.
Is that a box?
Yes, it's a very good box.
Explain.
Sorry, Kate.
You were just like standing.
Oh, hey, back to train up real quick. Guys, what really smart thing did Harrison do in his very first step that I'm happy with? Some of you guys maybe skipped.
The arrow.
No,
No?
+5.
the parentheses around the 3. Hey guys, whenever you substitute a number in,
Can I do
and
that?
I meant this one for Allie because whenever you substitute, especially a negative number, use parentheses. You will get more of them right. Go, Allie, you're doing great. What's up, Billy?
Can I do A?
You want to do 2A?
Can I do B? Yeah.
Try it. If you want to come get a check by me first, I will do that. Billy's got 2A. Matthew's got 2B. 2B or not 2B? That's the question.
Because it is. No.
Here's why. What's 2 squared?
+5. And then
I think you did 3 times. You did your order of operations wrong. You multiplied before you did your exponents. Nice job, Allie. Box it. For the second one, raise your hand if you got 25.
Mine looks way better than yours, Allie.
Let me see your shirt. Make sure your shirt works. Very good. Your shirt works. All right. Guys, what's that little 2 on the next one? Does everybody see that exponent of 2?
Yeah.
Use parentheses. No parentheses, no. You'll get it wrong. Okay. Right. Think about order of operation. Exponents. Remember, what is the E stand for? So, what's in your head? What's negative 1 squared? No. No.
2.
No. What's negative? Think about it. Negative 1 squared equals what? What does it? There's not one in this problem.
Are you guys fighting? Because I'm getting
Which is how much?
That's the problem, guys. Gotta take down. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
So, hey guys, you're doing your order of operations wrong. Let me clear.
She's lying.
Excellent.
I asked right.
All right, let me clear things up because some people are coming to ask me, and here's what they're doing. Watch, don't write this down, but watch. They're going 3 times 2 is 6 squared. No. Hey, do you do multiplication or do you do exponents first?
Exponents.
Why do you do exponents first?
PEMDAS.
PEMDAS, exactly. So, here's what you need to do. Kind of what Billy did. He skipped a little step though.
Oh.
You need to go 3 times. Guys, what's 2 squared?
Like I did that mentally.
4 minus 4, and then that's how he got to his step of 12 minus 4.
So I did it mentally in my head.
Okay? So, exponents come before multiplication. If you need to write down PEMDAS to keep that straight, do something smart to help yourselves out. Okay? Who did you say was going to do B? Did you get the right yet?
I'll do it.
I got.
No. What's negative 1? Or what's 1 times 3?
No, it's plus. Oh, times.
Remember, because it's multiplication.
Okay.
Do 1 times 3. Anybody think they got the second one right yet?
I did.
I got it right.
I'm not. I didn't finish yet, but I will.
Second one right.
And now it's.
Nope.
I didn't go.
Oh, what's negative 1 squared? 1. Yeah. No, it's gone. It's gone because negative,
It's like negative 1 times negative 1.
which makes positive, right? So you, in your next step, I'm writing 3 times 1, or 3 parentheses 1.
Can I do X?
It's gonna be 3 times
3
1.
X.
We've already done 1, but you can try. I appreciate you trying to say 3. Nice job, pedal cow. Oh my God, he doesn't know what 3 minus 4 is.
Almost. Oh. It's negative. Oh, it's
Let's write a little bit nicer. You got it right now, my friend. Good job. I'm just gonna write the answer.
next one right. Can you check it?
Hold on.
I got that wrong.
Okay, guys. Here's
I like this.
why we have to show parentheses. Look what Matt did at the beginning. He substituted in his negative 1, okay, and then the exponent goes outside the parentheses. Can you guys, everybody in here, if you think for 5 seconds, knows what negative 1 squared is? 1. Why is it positive?
Negative 1 times negative 1.
Negative 1 times negative 1 makes positive 1. And then he put a dot in between them. That was really smart too. He could have put parentheses around it, something like that. It's 3 minus 4. 3 minus 4 is negative 1. That's tricky. This stuff's tough. Okay? All right, now the really hard one. We kind of did it. We did it.
Can I do it?
We did it. We did an easy one. We did a medium one. Now we do a really hard one.
I didn't get it right. Just kidding.
I volunteer as
You don't
cheerleader.
see it? You do it, Shushko. Shushko got it right. Let's go try it. You guys can do this. Let's see if you got it right though.
Well, I didn't do B yet, but I'm doing it.
Burke, organize your work better, please. Explain what you're doing.
I'm putting this into this.
Ah, I see what you're saying. You did all the hard stuff, right? You did the easy stuff wrong. What is that?
Oh, it's okay.
You're gonna get it right now.
I'm gonna.
Hey, can you try? That one's wrong.
So negative.
What's negative 2 squared? Because what does it mean, first of all? What's negative 2 squared mean?
I'm gonna. I just multiplied
There you go.
these
So it's
two,
positive 1. Excellent job. Very good.
and now
Nice job, Milligan.
some other stuff.
No, not what I got. You lost your negative sign in front of you too.
I just combined
Right?
the two negatives. Yeah.
This is supposed to be negative.
Mr. Fancy.
Nice.
Mr. Fancy, negative, right?
No.
That's 24.
Yes. Let me look at your work, Harrison. I can figure it out.
Is this right, Mr. P?
What's 3 squared?
Did he say 6? Please tell me he didn't say 6.
He said 6. If I had $1 for everybody told me 3 squared was 6, I'd be rich and get retired by now.
Wait, what?
Good job. Harrison, what's 3 squared?
18. 9. 9. 9.
I got 20.
Because I did.
You're gonna vote right. You didn't do that one. All right, last one. Negative 13, guys. What's the right answer for A? Look at him showing his work. No, we did it differently. There. Wait, stop on.
Yeah, I did it different.
Yeah, I did it different. Did you get the same answer?
Yeah.
Look what he did. He moved things around.
That was
Or she.
Colin.
Who was it?
She.
It was she. I didn't know who did this one. Look what she did. She took the negative 18 minus 4 and combined those, her negative numbers, and still got the right answer. What I did,
I did the negative 18.
I did that next. How much is negative 18 plus 9?
Negative 9.
Negative 9 minus
Then
4. How much is that?
Negative 13.
Negative 13. So she did all her, she moved things around, which is the, what property is that, people?
Community.
Everybody say commutative.
Commutative.
She moved her things around with the commutative. As long as you take the sign with it, that's okay. So 100% correct on that one, either way. Nice job, everybody. Okay, you're not showing enough work. What's negative 2 squared?
We have Phoebe do the next problem.
So,
Next
4.
problem.
What's 4 times negative? And I would have written this.
Oh wait.
Again, I would have written it. Plus negative 6 minus 4. This step right here, going in here, might give you more of them right. What's negative 2 quantity squared? No. Oh my god. Yes. Negative 2. In parentheses around square. Guys, here's where, if you're missing B, the one Antonio was working on, here's the mistake. When you do negative 2 squared with parentheses around it, how much does that make?
4.
Positive 4 or negative 4?
Positive.
Why is it positive? Right? There's actually how many negative signs here? 2. So, look what Antonio did. He showed his work. Guys, feel free to kill a couple birds with one stone. Look what Antonio did that. Negative 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. And then in the next step, he multiplied negative 2 times 4 and added negative 6 and negative 4 together. That makes negative 10. The answer is negative 18. If you can do B, you're doing a really nice job. Okay. All right. Anything else for this side? How many people, F of X stuff's going pretty well, I think. Right? We usually don't teach this to 8th graders. This new book that we have, a new curriculum, doing some tough stuff. You guys are doing great.
This is tough stuff.
This is tough stuff.
Seriously.
All right. Jump to the back. Let's do one function table. That's being a little slow.
Now you got another page. And another one. Keep getting more pages.
All right. Choose 4 values for X. X, there's several names for X when we're talking about functions. I come up with 2 other names. So give me one of them.
Domain.
Domain. Anybody got another name for the X? What else do we call the X value in a function? The domain? Well, I got 2 more now. No, range is the Y value. Good try though. Remember? It is the independent variable. That was the tough one. Very good. It's independent. X can be anything. X can be what you put in. But there's one other word that actually starts with in that you guys should know for this. Input. So X is always your domain, your independent variable, or your input. Okay? Remember, let's make our table. Remember, it does not have to be perfect. Okay? I remember that you have to make your middle column kind of wide. Your middle column has to be the widest. What goes in the left column? X. And then f of x equals 3x squared plus 5. Put your problem, your function, in the middle column. And then what's the last column going to be labeled? Okay? And then how many values do you have to find? 1, 2, 3, 4. What do the smart people choose for their x's? 0, 1, 2, and negative 1. If you want to be creative and choose different values, that's fine. Okay, but keep it simple. All right, let's do this. 3 times 0 squared plus 5. Fill in that middle table with 0 in for x.
Wait, so you don't have to write f of x on the middle problems?
If you don't write f of x, I'm not going to take off. Just put the x, the x value, Harrison, in for x, and I'll be happy. That make sense?
I've been
Okay.
writing F of X.
If you wrote f of x, that's fine.
Because it's right. Because I like some of this mostly.
Yeah. Everything else is right. What's 1 squared? Times 3 plus 5. There you go.
It's great.
I think so, yes. Coffee, what'd you get for y when x is 0?
Oh, 5.
5. How many people got 5 for the y when x is 0? All right, let's try 1 now. 3 times the quantity of 1 squared, please use parentheses, people, plus 5. do your order of operations in your head, guys. You're smart enough to do this. Square your 1, times it by 3, add 5. Trace.
8.
I got 8. 1 squared is 1, times 3 is 3, plus 5 is 8. Okay? Everybody try 2 in your head. Write it out. Do the math in your head. Do your order of operations. And how much do you think that is?
17.
I got 17. 2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Now watch what happens when you try negative 1. Something weird's going to happen.
I got it.
Use parentheses. Lance, what'd you get? I got back to 8. Watch. Lance, what's negative 1 squared? 1. Positive 1. Boom, it's the same thing as positive 1 squared. Times 3 is 3, plus 5 is 8. Is it okay if the y values, the y value is the same number for 2 different x's?
Yeah.
That's going to happen every once in a while. I'll give you a big hint. This is not, you know how we've been graphing lines for a long time? If we graph this, it ain't a line. Okay? It would be what they call a parabola. Have you ever heard of a parabola?
Nope.
Everybody say parabola.
Parabola.
Uneducated people call them parabolas.
Parabola.
Don't call them parabolas. All right, let's state the domain and the range. Easy now. Now again, what's the domain?
0, 1, 2, negative 1.
Excellent. 0, 1, 2, negative 1. Henning, what's the range?
5, 8, 17, 8. Or not 8 again.
Right, don't write it again. Very good. 5, 8, 17. Since 8 is repeated as a range, we don't write it. All right. How many people think function tables are pretty easy?
I do.
Think and be careful when you do the math in this middle column. That's where the mistakes happen, is you rush it, and you don't use parentheses, and you can goofy answers. All right. I actually looked this up, guys. Derrick Rose actually averaged 16.8 points per game his rookie season.
Did you actually look it up?
No,
He
you
did.
didn't.
They did.
You looked up the other
The peanuts?
I don't know what that means.
770.
Oh, yeah, we had to explain this last period, too. People that maybe don't play basketball or watch basketball on TV, can one of you guys explain what it means that he averaged 16.8 points per game this
From his
year?
season.
Okay. Did he only play one game that year?
No.
No, he played a lot of games. He averaged 16.8 points per game. And I think some kids are confused about this. Can you actually get 16.8 points in one game?
No.
Why not?
Because
Because
you
you
only
can't
score
get
one
points.
number.
Points.
Yeah, you either get a full point or you don't. But because it's an average, it worked out to one decimal spot. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
I think some kids in the last period thought that he got 16.8 points in a game. Okay?
That's what I was thinking.
So, that's an average. Okay? Now, the total points that he scored for the season is a function of the games that he played. The total points that he scored is a function of the games that he played. So, let's talk about the independent and dependent variables. This one, might start making more sense, guys, about what's independent, what's dependent, based on this situation. Especially if you understand basketball and how this works. Guys, what depends on the other? Say it both ways, and it might make sense to you. Okay?
Derrick Rose depends on his season.
Hey, the two things we're talking about are games and total points. Which one depends on the other?
Points.
The points depend on the game.
His total points depend on his games. Say it the other way, and it doesn't make sense. His
Games
games
depend on-
depend on his total points.
No.
It
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
You have to play
If he has
So,
games to get points.
His total points depend on his games. So the games are the independent, and we said that was going to be the variable g, and his total points are dependent, which we said to be f of g. Okay, I put that in parentheses. I don't know if I need to. Does that make more sense, guys, or not? It should start making more sense. This is a hard concept. the whole independent and dependent variables. And remember, the independent one is your domain, and the dependent one is your range, which basically means there's your x and there's your y. Okay? So talk about all these variables in different terms. What values could the domain be? What could the domain? What could his games be for the year? Can he play -3 games?
Any
No.
That doesn't
Well,
make
if he's
sense.
injured.
Gotta think, man.
Yeah, but that's
But
not
think
many
about how they
games.
find out his average, Bill. That's a really good point. Like you can say, could he play half a game?
Yeah.
Maybe he was in there for half a game, but when you take his average, do you count that half a game as a half, or does that half game count for a whole game?
Okay.
It counts for a whole game when he's talking about his average. So, the domain, okay, would be basically your whole numbers again. I mean, technically he could play half a game, but when you're talking about in the season, if he plays 50 games, he played in 50 games, whether they're half or all of them or a quarter or 3/4, whatever. But now, what numbers are possible for his range?
Any
I don't
mul-
think it seems like it could be any because he could score any amount of points a game, any amount of game. But if we made a table of this, what do you think, Harrison?
any multiples of 16.8.
Yeah, we're talking about multiples of 16.8. Okay. And again, technically, he could score more than 16.8 points in a game, or less than 16.8 points in a game. All right, let's write the function rule. This is totally going to make sense now. All right, our three things that are important are f of g, g, and 16.8. Jot those three things down on the left, or just look up at the. I can't see them because of the smart board. F of g stands for his total points. G stands for
Total.
his games. 16.8 stands for
16.8.
his average per game. Use those three things, guys, and try to write an equation. You can do this. What would the equation be for his total points of the season based on his games and his average? Guys, if you're stuck, I'll give you a big hint. The function of his games will always go first. F of G. Gracie, what do you think?
F of G
16.8 is average times how many games he played. Gracie, what if he played one game that year? What were his total points for the year? What if he played 2 games? Yeah, exactly. Okay, 3 games. What? I did look it up. He must have missed 2 games that year because there's 82 games in a basketball season. He must have missed 2 games that year, unlike his last couple years. How do we find out how many total points he scored in 80 games? What do we do? Pedal cow!
You do f of 80 equals 16.8 times 80.
Nice. Look at that. He was even smart enough to put the 80 in for the G in his F of G. F of 80. Calculator or no calculator?
Calculator.
Yeah, if you can do 16.8 times 80, you're Rain Man.
1344.
Harrison, how much is it?
1344.
1,344?
Yeah.
Label it.
Game. No points.
Points.
Points per.
Not points per. I think that's
Season.
total. Does everybody agree that's his total? Guys, his rookie year, he scored 1,344 points in 80 games.
Points.
Okay? In 80 games. Guess what his average was?
16.8.
You guys are geniuses. All right? All right, try one more. You got a second one in the back. It's real similar to this. See if you can do this one. Okay? You guys are making huge progress with this stuff. All right. Oh, I'm on the wrong page.
Fish depends on the water.
This is exactly what happened last.
Okay.
The water
All right, you guys have seen a fish tank before, and you guys have seen fish before.
Yes.
The more fish you have, what do you think has to happen?
The
water.
tank gets
More
bigger.
water.
The tank has to get bigger. Okay? Actually, the size of the tank, we're going to call it G of F. A fish collector needs, depends on how many fish, F, he has. he knows that each fish needs 2 cubic feet of water. 2 cubic feet of water, guys, is about this much. It's a cube. Okay? It'd be like this. Each fish needs this much space. The more fish he has,
More water.
the bigger the tank, the more water he needs. Okay? Which one depends on the other?
Fish depends on the water, or else he'll die.
Well, yeah, what if you put a regular, like a goldfish in salt water, you can die.
Water depends on how many fish.
Say that again, Al. That's the way to say it. Or whoever said that over here.
Water depends on
Babe.
how many fish.
The water, the size of the tank, depends on how many fish he has. Say it the other way. It doesn't make sense. The number of fish he has depends on the size of the tank.
But that does sound right.
That does make sense.
It kind of makes sense, but doesn't make as much sense as the other way. Okay? So the dependent is the G of F, or the size of tank. And that totally depends. The independent one is the fish, or the F. Okay? If you guys are catching on to the pattern, guys, the dependent one is always the G of F, or the F of X, or whatever. Okay? Your independent one is the one that basically could be any number. Okay? All right, now for the independent or the domain, what are the values that the fish could be? Can you have half a fish? That's just
Yeah.
weird. Okay? Could you have a live half fish?
No.
No.
For like a few seconds, I do it in a bag.
Whole numbers. Could you have negative amount of fishes?
No.
No, you cannot have negative amount of fishes. You cannot have a third of a fish.
Unless someone steals your fish, that's a negative
Okay.
fish.
Your fish would not be alive anymore. Okay. The dependent variable, which is the range, which is our fish tank. What are the logical values for our fish tank? How much water could be in our fish tank?
For how many
Wait, here's my
fish?
question. How many ever for the fish? Very good answer. Could you have 3 gallons in that tank?
No.
I don't think so. Because every fish gets 2 gallons, or cubic feet. I don't know if that's the same as a gallon. Every fish gets 2 cubic feet. So we can't have 3 cubic feet, because that means we'd have 1.5 fish in there, which we said we can't have a half-a-foot fish.
Well, what if it's like,
Multiples of 2, or what's another way to say that? What kind of numbers are multiples of 2?
Even.
Very good. Even numbers. Even positive numbers. Because you can't have negative. So even positive numbers, okay, or multiples of 2. I would accept either one. You guys are going to get this eventually. You guys are doing great. So, we said it was a G of F? Was that the function notation? F is fish, and each fish gets 2 cubic feet of water. Write your equation. It's real similar to the last one. Cheat and look back at the last one if you're stuck.
I already did that.
Come on, guys. More than Natalia. I think everybody in here can do it. Even Henley can do it. Let's go. What is it, Trax?
G of F equals 2F.
Yeah, G of F equals 2F.
What did it be?
What? Oh, that's just the units on the feet. You don't have to cube it. Good question, though. You don't have to cube it. Okay? Now, we're going to use our rule. This is our rule for how big our tank needs to be. What happens if we have 24 fish? What do we do?
multiply by 2?
Phoebe?
Multiply it by 24.
Okay. G of 24. Can you do 2 times 24 in your head?
48.
48. This is where, Angie, we're actually going to label it. Feet cubed. That would be one big fish tank, people.
Yep.
48 cubic feet. Okay.
Looks like a little fish.
All right. You'll probably need your notes as you guys do your homework. All right, this is the worksheet. Everybody look up here. Two quick instructions. Look. The first side, which is one of those goofy riddles,